Hi everyone, so today we are going to do the second challenge of the series of Android exploitation of CyberHackathon Pakistan. So let's start with the description of the challenge, right? So what we need are three things. The first thing is the flag from description for a secret asset, and the second thing is correct password from the database, and the third thing is text file, and we are supposed to get its content. So let's start first with installing the application on Genymotion, and there we go. So here is the application. So it is pretty much same, even if you have seen the first video of the series, it is same as the first application, but the logic is a little bit different. And the way of doing it is also different. So let's look at the source of the application, and as always, let's see what is being called. So it is Crocks check.main activity, which gets opened whenever which gets called whenever we open the application. So that is this, and here's the source. So let's go down line by line. Actually, not line by line. Feature based. So the first thing, there are two strings which are not being called anywhere. Not sure why. And then we have flag text, I am guessing. So let's open the application side by side. I think that would be cool, but actually it just gets down there. So I think that would do, right? Okay, so the first thing here, this is the flag text, this field here. Then we have the login button, which is this username, password, username, and then what is happening is this is actually fetching whatever we are typing in the username field, and then the password, and then this is the flag. And here we see there is a function being called, which is writing some hash according to the name. So let's look at the function, which is just below there, right? So that is here, right to file. Okay. So what's happening here is it is opening a stream, and then it is going to write into the config.txt file, and what it'll write is this hash right here. Okay, so remember the challenge instruction, it said that find text file and get its content, right? So one thing which you notice here, which is interesting here actually, so what is the hash? Is it this one or is it this one? Right, so if you look at the instruction, it says find the text file and get its contents, right? It is not saying what is being written to the file. Do not find that. Find what has been written in the file, right? So that would be ultimately this, because you can see that the method takes argument that is data, but actually the data argument is not being called anywhere in the method itself, right? So that means this is the hash we need, and we can confirm that by going to the application directory. That would be Crocks.check, and we have the file config.txt file, and this is the hash. We can do a echo to get this clean, nice and easy. So that is one of the things we needed. Let me just open a text editor. So that is the first or the third flag, right? So we have this one. Now let's look for this exploit description for a secret asset, and I think by asset they mean what we have in the assets, right? So that is the database. Again, let's go back to the source code, and then we'll come to this part afterwards. So right to file, we got the third flag, and now what is happening is main activity is calling another method that is dbcopy, and what it does is it creates the database, right? So this user record database is being written to the path, which is /database, and this is the name with which it will store it. It will be the same name. So if we just come back here, I don't think so we'll find the database. Okay, it is there, right? So it just wrote it when we open the main activity. This method got called here, and it wrote the database over here. So that would be SQLite3 database, I guess. Yeah, it is. Okay, so going forward, it is checking the main activity first field, the username here, and then we have the password field here, checking the length if it is 0, and if it is not, it is going to call this method .fetch record with the username and the password as field. So if we go to the fetch record method, which is just below here in the main activity here, right? So what it's doing, it is first creating a SQL query from it is finding the username and password fields from the user table, and it is going to check whatever we enter here, and it's going to check if that exists in the database, and then if the counter is greater than 0, if the results have been returned, do this. What it's going to do is concatenate the username and password, and then that is being passed here to a function SHA-1, which is just below here, which is I guess going to create a SHA-1 hash of the concatenation of username and password, and then it is going to match that against the username and password we entered into the application. And if both of those match, it is again going to do create the SHA-1 hash of the password. Keep in mind, this is not username plus password, it is returning only the password, right? So if we go above, the hash is being compared to a hard-coded hash. So whatever SHA-1 hash of the password we create should match this, and if it does, it is going to display the hash into the application. This is fairly simple. We don't actually need to write any Java code or anything. What we need to do is first look into the database, and that is in the database directory, and we can connect or open the database using this SQLite3. Actually, not connect, just open. And you can look up a cheat sheet for SQLite3. Tables list the table inside the database, and metadata we do not need. We need this table. Okay, so we have combinations of username and passwords in here, and whenever we add the username and password from here to in the field here, it is going to SHA-1 hash. It is going to first combine both of those, then SHA-1 hash those, and then it is going to compare that to whatever is in the database and SHA-1 hash of concatenation of those. So it looks sounds complex, but it is really simple. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create two files. That would be username and password. We're going to store that in there, and then we are going to write a Python file which would create SHA-1 hashes of those combinations, and then in the end it will match the hash with this hard-coded hash right here. So let's do that. First, I am going to, so we are going to copy the username, and first we're going to copy username. So let's do that. That would be user name from user, and just here that would be, and I think I should have copied that, and if we do, there we go. So we have the username here, and then I'm going to copy the passwords. That would be, again, we have done that, password user. So these fields you can see actually here, right? So username and password, username capital or small, it doesn't matter in SQL. So let me just copy the username from here, and that would be like that. And this is actually the password, sorry, and that would be, there we go, we got that. So I'm going to write a file to actually create SHA-1 hashes. I'm going to rename that, and password, let's just Google like SHA-1 hash -3. Sorry about the extra 4. We have this over here, it says import hash clip, hash.digest, and what do we want? What do we want? What do we want here? I think we can use this, right? Actually, this is MD5. We want SHA-1, so that is what we need. That's all, right? So I'm going to write real sloppy code here. I hope you do not mind that, right? It'll just help us do this fast. As after read or strip or split, I'm going to create lists of the username and password, usernames, and I'm just going to copy the same one here and modify this to passwords or txt, and there we go, right? So I'm going to call the both of the lists. That would be for users, and pass, that is a reserved word. We can use pass to view and zip. So when we are to call two lists in a single loop, and both lists have content of the same length, the first one has 10 indexes in it and the second one has 10 indexes in it, we can just combine both of those. So that would be passwords, and we just do quickly users, pass, you will see all of those being printed here. So I think oh, it's in the home directory. I don't know. let's just that would be create SHA1.py, and there we go. We got the username and the passwords. So I'm going to call this now, and that would be hash.sha1 users pass w and hash h.hex digest, right? So it is just going to create output SHA1 users pass and h.hex. Is this Python 2? I think it is Python 2 because why is there no let's see. Yeah, if you see there's error, must be encoded before hashing. I think we need to encode those UTF-8. That would be combination is equal to encode UTF-8, and we can pass the combination here. Does that work? It will. Okay. So there we go. We have the hashes, right? So remember the logic in the source, which we saw that it is only going to return SHA1 password, right? Do not compare the user and password list. Just compare the password one, right? And compare that with this, right? So this condition we do not care about. We just want to see which password when SHA1 hashed matches this, all right? So we are going to hardcode that, and we're going to actually remove user from here, right? So we got the combination there, and just like this, if hash, okay, hash is also taken, we can do this. Sorry about taking letters of words. That would be the hash. Okay, there we go. So we are going to print the user and pass w combination when it matches. So let's see if it matches, and I think I wrote it right. There should be no errors. Okay, there we go. So when you create SHA1 hash of this password here, that is equal to the hard-coded string in here, right? So let's just do this and paste that in the application. If it prints the flag which was hard-coded, that means that this is the correct combination which we needed. And there we go, we got the same hash, which is this, right? So now we have the second flag as well, which was the first flag, which was, sorry, it is the second flag, get correct password, and the password or the second flag is this. So for the first flag, I think you saw it somewhere, right? So it was in the secret asset, and by asset I mean what is here, the database. And if we take a look in the database again, select from user, you can see that this is a unique entry, right? So this is the username, this is the password, this third entry doesn't belong to anything, and that is our first flag. So let's just copy all of those. This is the first one. The second one is the password, which is just, it's just above that. So there we go, we got all three of the flags, and that was it. This was a simple challenge in the first one, and thank you for watching.